right there at that same spot. My fault. And I gotta fix the problem. Following our adventures lately, you know that we've had a little water issues because Rambo, our big ram, rubbed up against our hydrant, and it's my fault because when I installed them I used a plastic nipple to make the connection between the hydrant and the incoming water pipe, and that was totally my fault. So I'm paying for it now. Last year we had the same thing happen, except we had concrete pads around our hydrants and they actually froze and lifted up and it popped the one on the garden, in the garden there. And we repaired that last year, and now this year we're repairing this one. Probably would have been okay if Rambo hadn't rubbed up against it, but eventually we might have had a problem here anyway, so it's best that we're in here fixing it now. So I got the hole all dug up, and you might ask, why all that machinery? The ground is frozen, and for the sake of time and energy, I thought it'd be a little advantageous to grab up the machinery. A lot of times you can find places that rent machinery in your local area, and they rent by the hour or the half day or the whole day. And for the little bit of money that this was, it saved a lot of aggravation on getting into this hole so I can repair this spigot. Because without water, we're hauling water in buckets and jugs, and Stacy's about done with it. I thought the weather was going to break like it did last year. We were able to get in there, fix it, and get it back on. But this year, we just haven't had that opportunity, so I had to just push it. So I went ahead and got in here, and now I'm gonna get this all put back together, show you guys what I'm doing, and then get it fixed, and we'll be back in business. Nothing like wet and cold. Did I mention it's about 30 degrees with a 20-mile-an-hour constant wind out here? Oh boy. First thing we gotta do is get the primer and the cement on this pipe so we can get the connector on there. I'll have to cut out our piece of 2-inch pipe, our stick here, where we'll also put the shutoff valve back here, and then we'll put the hydrant back up on the front here. Ball valve on. All right, ball valve is in. That's the brass right there. That other PVC was super weak, just gonna break. Hope you learned a lesson. Some of you guys were asking about these hydrants, and you're like, well, how do you use those hydrants and they don't freeze in the wintertime? I'm gonna show you guys how this all works. Right here in the ground, there's a weep hole. So this pipe fills up with water and your water comes out of your hydrant, and then it drains down out of this weep hole, so there's no water in the pipe to freeze. All the water weeps out. And because our frost level is about 36 inches, everything we do around here is buried about 3 feet. There's no frost down there. The water just weeps out. It never freezes in the pipe. Ingenious. I'm gonna get this on there, and we're gonna be pretty much in the home stretch. I'm telling you, this wind is something else. So we have everything pretty much put back together, but what I want to do is get all the water out of here as much as possible, so then I can go turn it on and then double check everything and just make sure there's not a bunch of water coming out. If I have a bunch of water in here when we start, it's a lot harder to tell if all my seals are done. So we're gonna pull out some of this water and then go check what we got going on. Another reason why I wanted to make sure that I got in here and fixed it right now, because the ground's semi-frozen. When this stuff thaws out, it's gonna be a mess. And we have a bunch of rain forecasted coming up. So if I miss this opportunity right now to strike while the iron's hot, we go a lot longer without water. I'd be in a lot more trouble. All right, let's get it done. Almost 40 degrees in here. 37, and it's about 30 degrees or 28 degrees outside with about a 20-30 mile an hour wind. All right, I'm gonna go turn on the water, which requires me jumping back there, so I'll be back. Fixed it. Didn't really fix it, but turned it on. Now we got to make sure that there's no water filling up that hole. So if we get over there and everything's still dry, we know we're in good shape. Whew. Yeah, you got to learn a lot of different skills when you live this kind of lifestyle. Or, you know, if you have a lot of money, you can throw money at it. There's people willing to do these type of jobs. So what I try to do is learn a bunch and then apply them. And then if I get in over my head, I got no problem tapping out and calling the professionals. And you guys have seen that right here on the channel. Yes, we're back. We're back. We puddled out that water. I don't see any new water coming in, so that's good. So we just did a test run here. And now I just wanted to show you guys how that weeps out like that. So all the water comes out of there and then it shuts off. In case you put in one of these hydrants, you know, I'm going to show you guys a tip real quick about this weep hole down here. I got some little extra 2-inch pipe here, PVC. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to protect that weep hole so it doesn't get clogged up with rock and the dirt we're going to put in here when we're all sealed up. Cut a little piece of PVC pipe and I'm going to cover that weep hole. See that? And I'm going to jam it into there so it'll hold it up. And then that'll just kind of help protect it just a little bit and still allow that to get on out of there. Just a little trick I learned hanging out with people that know a little more than me. Now the next big test is going to be getting over to the cabin and turning on the faucet and seeing how Stacy's doing. I'm out here freezing. She's inside the cabin and hopefully she's whipping us up some victuals. And you know one thing's for sure. I gotta clean those boots off before I go anywhere around the house. Let's get some water here at the hydrant. All right, we're back in the house. Whew, a little hard to see. It's about 3 something in the afternoon, but it's
4:30.
Just, yeah, 4:30.
Whoa, what an exciting day.
We don't have any oil lamps or anything yet, so. All right, we're back in business. Victory is mine!
Woohoo! Yeah, this is an awesome sight. Water is running out of our sink.
So, always be flexible on the homestead. It was my fault too, so I'm 50-50 to blame for that one. I'll take half the responsibility from Rambo.
Yeah, Rambo has 50 and you have 50.
And we're back in business with the water, so happy wife, happy life.
And I can do dishes with a smile on my face now.
Yeah, and then we won't have to truck around getting the water and everything. Because it really has been about highs in the 20s, lows in the 0s and 2s, -2s, 2s, 5s. It's been something else, so.
I know, and I was at the feed store, or not the feed store, at the farm and home or whatever, and I heard the little cheep, 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 cheep. So when you hear the little sound of the chicks, you know spring is close.
That's right.
But it doesn't feel close because it's freezing here.
Well, at least we'll have our water going now, and we are off to the races. So stay tuned on the next video. We're going to talk about the root cellar, and then we have some stuff coming up in the garden. So as always, thanks for watching our videos.
And we will see you guys later.
I'm going to get out of these muddy clothes, because one thing about doing waterworks, always equals big fat mud.
And lots of laundry. See ya.